Um, I would also like to discuss the political economy of social aging in India and contemporary India. All studies of social aging inevitably reflect the context within which people and processes are being examined or operate. In this section, one looks at some description of these contexts. The political economy and cultural institutions are intricately related to social aging processes. The nature of the community within which aging takes place is fairly important in determining the nature of the social relationships of the older person than age itself. It may seem as a matter of fact that how healthy you are and how wealthy you are rather than how old you are. But that's not the case. It appears the population of India is young. I have some statistics. This pattern is typical for developing countries and contrasts with the pattern found in industrialized countries, in which the younger stratum may be half of what is found in a country like India. While the older segment of population may be 2 or 3 times what it is in India, India's population is aging rapidly because of a progressive increase in life expectancy and decline in fertility. While high fertility and rapid population growth are part of the image that people in the West have about India, this pattern is differentially distributed across India. There are certain states like Kerala that have actually undergone or about to undergo the demographic transition toward how low fertility and increased demographic age. According to demographers, the aged are the fastest growing segment of India's population, and the sex ratio of India's population exhibits a large number of males than females. So we have less older women in about, say, 20 years or so. Associated with rapid population growth is a substantial rural-urban migration. The segment of the population that moves follows the classic pattern of population movements around the world. The young and the fit migrate, the old and others, less able to make the move, are left behind. Migration probably has many negative effects on the older people, and sociologist Yogendra Singh has dealt with it in a project which has addressed this issue in a very interesting way. Another important process of change in India which affects social aging is the middle class revolution. India's middle class has been increasing in size since 1970s. With economic reform and expansion of the middle class will accelerate. The upper fifth of the wealth distribution structure sees the most development. The Indian state has some responsibility for the welfare of elderly, as expressed in the Indian Constitution. Article 41 states, the state shall, within the limits of its own economic capacity and development, make effective provision for securing the rights to work, to education, and to public assistance in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness, and disablement, and other cases of undeserved want. However, this is not law, but is referred to as a directive principle of state policy that is to be applied in the design of legislation and policy. Therefore, it is not enforceable in the court of law. The Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act also recognizes the responsibility of children towards parents. India has limited capacity to allocate public resources to meet the needs of many disadvantaged people in the population. As a consequence, older Indians do not receive substantial support from the public sector. This is evident in limited allocations to the needs of elderly in the 5-year plans. Therefore, I am pushing the argument we must look for alternative social security models for the aged and the elderly. Older Indians derive their sustenance from a number of possible sources. The most important source remains the family and savings. Savings made during the lifetime of the individual are often used to get the children situated through education and sometimes through dowry payments. frequently elderly people retire and their children are not even educated and married. Retirement benefits in the organized sector of the economy have improved through the years, but these provisions apply to a very small, mostly male segment of the population. Even among the persons covered by organized sector provisions, pension payments do not make up for the loss of earnings associated with retirement, and even those covered by pension schemes need additional income. It is generally true that persons retire with little financial security other than that provided by the family or their own savings, as there is no universal pension scheme. The relevant facts of the political economy of aging in India include the number of elderly people is rapidly increasing.